And then we look ahead to round 14. In the first game on Friday, we got Brisbane hosting St Kilda at the Gabba. And Brisbane $1.21 and St Kilda $4.45 to win. So obviously Brisbane are favourites, and I would pick Brisbane because it's at the Gabba, and I don't believe in St Kilda, even though it's 13th versus 14th matchup, and Brisbane are 13th, St Kilda are 14th. Brisbane are the better team, and with the momentum from last week, I think they can win. If you beat a finals contender like Western Bulldogs, you should be able to beat St Kilda, the lowly St Kilda. They've won their last 2 games, and they got momentum too, but Brisbane are the better team. They have too many good players not to make finals or get close. You don't have that many injuries either. Like, you have a few: McCarthy, Gardner, Coleman. But besides that, most of your team's healthy. And you still have Lockie Neal, you still have Hipple and Danaher, sometimes inconsistent, but they're good forwards. You still got Charlie Cameron. You still got a lot of good players. You should be able to win. Then on Saturday, we got Western Bulldogs, Marvel Stadium hosting Freo. Freo coming off the bye, a week off. Western Bulldogs last week. Horrible showing against Brisbane, really horrible showing. This is on a Saturday. And this is a hard game to pick because Fremantle have the week off and Fremantle are in good form, and Western Bulldogs usually play well at Marvel. But if they can't beat Brisbane, can they beat Freo? But Freo are better than Brisbane. Hard to choose, but I would say benefit of the doubt, Fremantle should win. Even though it's not in Perth, they're fresh, they had the week off. Western Bulldogs are $1.69 favourites and Fremantle are $2.18. But I still think Fremantle should win. Fremantle are the better team, no matter of the ladder position. Fremantle still have Sarong, they have a lot of good players. Sarong, Jordan Clark, Andrew Brayshaw, Tracy's a good forward, Amos is a good forward, Luke Jackson in the ruck. You got Luke Ryan in defence. You still got Michael Walters, Michael Fredericks. Yeah, I think Fremantle should win. Even though it is Western Bulldogs' home game, and they want to bounce back from Brisbane last week, I don't think they can do it. They have a chance, but I don't think they can do it. But you're missing Norton, you're missing Wayman, you're missing Sam Darcy still. So besides Hugo Hagen, what good forwards you have up there? It's not really many. And Fremantle aren't known for scoring, but I think Fremantle have less injuries and more talent. They should be able to win. And then after that, we got 17th placed Richmond hosting Hawthorn, 12th place at the MCG, and Hawthorn are $1.47 favourites because they've been winning a lot of games recently, but Richmond are lower, but also it is Dustin Martin's 300th game, so it's got to be a hard game for Hawthorn to win. So I'd say Richmond will win just because it's Dusty's 300 game, but I don't see Hawthorn winning 4 games in a row. They're in good form, I don't think they're good enough to win 4 in a row, but they haven't won 4 in a row quite a while, but I support them, so I know. But they could win, but I still think Richmond will just because of the Dusty fanfare. I think Richmond will get up for that, and they'll get, I think, Tom Lynch is coming back this week, and Dusty will be back. So that will help them, obviously. And they're just getting good players back, and I just think Richmond will be able to do it. Even though a lot of players will be rusty, I still think they can do it. But it will be close. It should be a close game. And then after that, we got Adelaide hosting Sydney at the Adelaide Oval. Adelaide in shocking form, $3.21. Sydney are the favourites, $1.35. Sydney should win this easily, because Adelaide couldn't beat Richmond in Adelaide, so what makes them beat Sydney? And Adelaide are 15th right now, and they should have been better, but they're not, so they still don't have Rankin, they still don't have a lot of good players, so even without that, even if Rankin was playing and everyone was there, Sydney are always the better team. They got Goulden, Warner, Heaney in the crazy midfield trio. You got a Marty McDonald up forward. You got Blakey down back. You got McCartan down back. Just very, very well balanced team. And soon they'll get Mills and Parker back, which make their midfield even more stacked. I don't know how they're going to get room. They're a good team all around, so they should be able to win comfortably and keep the first place spot with 3 games clear of anyone else. Even if they lose, they'll still be first. They don't really matter to them. Then on Sunday, you got North Melbourne 18th hosting Collingwood, who are 6th place. Collingwood $1.10 to win, and North Melbourne was set $7 because Collingwood are the better team than North Melbourne. North Melbourne got their first win, good for you, but Collingwood just came off a nice win against Melbourne. And Collingwood is a superior team, even with injuries, they're the superior team. And I just believe they'll just win, they're the better team. I just believe they'll perform better, and be quite shocking if North Melbourne win. That's why I don't see it happening. Collingwood should just easily win by 40 or 50, easily. Who's going to watch that match anyway? The North Melbourne home game. In the last game of the round, you got GWS hosting Port Adelaide at NG Stadium in Sydney, what used to be called Spotless and lots of different names. And GWS are the favourites at $1.56 to Port Adelaide $2.45. Port Adelaide 4th and GWS are 8th, and this should be a close, good game. And it's hard to pick this one as well because they're both close on the ladder and both sometimes play well, sometimes play bad. GWS haven't won. GWS are not in good form. Port Adelaide in better form, but not much better. So, if I had to pick, I would pick GWS only because at home. And I think GWS are better than how they're playing currently. The form they're in, they should be playing better. I believe they can win. And Port Adelaide's off the bye, but still I think Port Adelaide sometimes just... Like Port Adelaide's game against Carlton 2 weeks ago, they're at home and they lose by 6 goals. I don't know how that happens. And then they barely scored. So I can't really trust them, Port Adelaide. And they can beat teams like North Melbourne. And they're top 4 right now, but they're not convincing. Because they beat Hawthorn by 1, and they let Hawthorn get up on them by like 30 something all those weeks ago. So Port Adelaide, I can't really trust them. And if it was an Adelaide, I'd probably still pick GWS because I can't trust Port Adelaide. You're all fresh on the week off, yeah. But I can't trust them. But Charlie Dixon plays like crap. He hasn't played well in a long time. Todd Marshall as a forward. Georgiades is okay. But their forward line is like weak, man. And Rosie keeps on going out. He has a hamstring, he's back 1 week, injured again. So Rosie's out, and I don't like their defense. Radigalia, I don't like him. Zirkzakis, I don't like him. I don't like the way they play. I like Dan Houston, but lots of their players. So I like Travis Boak, I like Ollie Wines, but a lot of players that are overrated in my opinion. And they're an overrated team. And this is not biased, but they are overrated. Because you make top 4 last year, and you go out straight sets. And you lost to GWS at home in straight sets last year. And then 2 years before that, you lost the prelim. And then in Adelaide. And the year before that, you lost the prelim again in Adelaide. So you can make top 4, but you can't win finals. You can't make a grand final. Hinkley's been there for how long and never made a grand final. So I can't believe in this team. They have better forward line. It's possible. But Todd Marshall and Charlie Dixon, Georgiades, I can't really trust those guys. Against a down GWS, they have Jesse Hogan, they have Toby Green, and they have Nick Haynes in defence, and they have Sam Taylor in defence, and they're missing Cornelio and Kelly, but they've got Tom Green, so they're a more talented team, just not playing like the more talented team. So I got GWS winning, and they're the favourites anyways, but in the lower position. So if we look at the ladder, Sydney are top by 2 wins over Carlton with 1 game in hand. Got Carlton in 2nd, you got Essendon in 3rd, Port Adelaide 4th, Geelong 5th, Collingwood 6th, Fremantle 7th, GWS 8th, Gold Coast 9, Melbourne 10, Western Bulldogs 11, Hawthorn 12, Brisbane 13, and probably up to that point they can make finals. I think under that, St Kilda, Adelaide, Eagles, Richmond, North Melbourne have no chance making finals. Brisbane have a slight chance, but I wouldn't say it's that much. So if you take off Brisbane, you have the top 12 teams. They'll be pushing the A, and I think Hawthorn aren't really a likely chance either. They'll get close, but I don't think they're ready. So I'd say 11 teams are in attention, the top 11. Just out of the 8, I'd say Gold Coast, Melbourne, and Western Bulldogs are the only 3 that can jump in. And Brisbane, this much, but I don't believe in them. So I've got Gold Coast, Melbourne, Western Bulldogs have a chance to be in the 8. And GWS, Fremantle, Collingwood, Geelong, Port Adelaide will be hanging on to their spot. Maybe Essendon too, but Carlton and Sydney are the only really teams I have confidence in staying in the 8 all year and be there at the pointy end of the season. Maybe Geelong too, because I think Sydney should finish first and Carlton should finish either 2nd, 3rd or 4th, the way they're playing. Essendon, 5th or 6th. Port Adelaide, either in the 8 or just out the 8. Geelong, maybe top 4. Collingwood, I'd say 7th or 8th or 6th. Fremantle, probably 5th or 6th. GWS, I have them as top 4, even though they're not playing like a top 4 team. And I think Gold Coast will just miss out. I think Melbourne will miss out. Or maybe just get in the 8, and I think Western Bulldogs will miss out. I think for the current 8, the only teams that are switching out is Port Adelaide for Melbourne, probably the only switch, or Port Adelaide for Western Bulldogs. That's the only teams I see coming out. Because everyone should make the finals. Sometimes I don't know with them, but and you're looking at form. Sydney's won the last 5. Carlton won 4 of the last 5. Essendon won 3 of the last 5. Port Adelaide 3 of the last 5. Geelong 1 of the last 5. Collingwood 3 of the last 5 and a draw. Fremantle 3 in the last 5 and a draw. GWS only 1 win in the last 5. The thing, if GWS don't wake up, they won't be making finals. And Gold Coast 3 of the last 5. They've won. Melbourne only 1 of the last 5. So I don't know how they will make finals unless they turn around something crazy. Western Bulldogs won 3 of the last 5. They're on the right path. Hawthorn 4 of the last 5. They're on the right path, but I think they'll just probably finish 10th, 11th or 12th, I don't think. Compared to Western Bulldogs, Melbourne and Gold Coast, they're not the better team. They're playing better, doesn't mean they're the better team. There's so much youth on this Hawthorn team. And so inexperience, they haven't really tasted, not many of them have tasted finals. It's been 6 years and not many of them have really tasted the chance of chasing finals because Hawthorn have finished quite lowly the few years. But you never know, I guess. In Brisbane have only 3 wins, a draw, and I lost the last 5, so they're in good form. They got St Kilda, they got a decent run on the way home, but I still don't think they'll make it just because they're so far back. And there you go. That is my preview of the next round. Peace.